Air layering. Air layering is a way of propagating material with less risk. Today, join me as I air layer my hawthorn. I've also done the same on blackthorn, but that's for another video. Tools you'll need: a sharp knife or a grafting knife or a Stanley knife, sphagnum moss, a clear bag, a black bag, and some wire or string. So how does air layering work? Well, in the most basic terms, here is a cross section of a tree. We have the sapwood or hardwood in the centre, the cambium surrounding it, and finally the bark, which protects the tree. Here is a side-on view of that same cross section. Trees move minerals and water from the roots through the sapwood up to the leaves. The leaves then photosynthesize and turn these minerals into sugars and starches. These sugars and starches travel back down the tree via the cambium layer, where they would usually feed the roots, and the cycle continues. With an air layer, we stop the flow of sugars and starches at a point we decide. The sugars and starches get blocked up at the cut site. This then produces callicin, and over time this callicin should produce roots. Once there are enough roots to support the cut and above, we can remove this part and voila, we have a cloned tree. It's important to note the size of the cut. Depending on how thick the branch is determines the thickness of the cut. A rule of thumb is to make a cut the same size as the thickness of the branch. A 2-inch thick branch requires a 2-inch space between the top bark and the bottom bark. This prevents bridging, which is what can happen when the callus meets the bottom cut site and essentially reconnects. It's also a good idea to scrape away the cambium layer, as this is a relatively thin film and can cause issues if not removed fully. Now to prepare the sphagnum moss. The key here, and the trick everyone misses, is that the moss doesn't need to be soaking wet, it needs to be damp. Roots do not like to grow in medium that is sopping wet. At this point, you'll want to grab your plastic bag. Strain out the moss until it is damp, then lay it out in a log shape, ensuring you have enough length to cover the whole cut. It is vital that the entire cut site makes good contact with the moss. Roots will not grow in air unless tropical. I like to use rooting hormone as an additive. This encourages the site to create roots. I prefer to use a gel kind, as the powder seems to wash off easily. This allows me to stick it to the top of the cut site. The top of the cut site is where callus or roots will form. The bit between will be deadwood. We are only concerned with the top of the cut at this point. The top cut should be a clean cut. Once the rooting hormone is in place, it's time to apply our log of moss. It's always a good idea to have some strands of wire nearby to tighten and fix the bag semi in place. I then like to backfill with more moss until the wrap is tight and secure. I then add 2 more wires, one in the middle, roughly where the cut site is, and another at the top to secure it firmly. Remember to punch drainage holes in the bag. We need humidity but not damp. I do not water my air layers, but of course it will rain, and that rain will run down the trunk into the air layer section, so it's important to have drainage. Then, to finish up, I cover the first bag with a black bag. Black bags help retain heat, which can help roots form, as well as protect the roots from light. I copied this way of air layering from a master called Dave's Bonsai. He can be found on Facebook. He also has a video he shot a few years ago where he airlayed a blackthorn, using the same technique. Dave has airlayed massive branches. His philosophy is that anything can be airlayed, it just takes time. Essentially, no airlayer will fail if you give it long enough. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.